Hagia Sophia is one of the most magnificent structures in the world, a place of worship. The magnificent structure that was reopened for worship after years of being a museum. As you know, Hagia Sophia was reopened for worship after many years. And you can personally go and examine what I'm about to show you before they are covered. During the construction of Hagia Sophia, pagan artists incorporated many pagan symbols into the structure. However, along with these, mysterious drawings and symbols were also found within the structure. The magnificent structure reopened for worship. I would like to start by showing you something interesting. We see a magnificent column, adorned with beautiful carvings. But the place you need to look at is right next to it. A handprint on the wall. This is a right hand print, standing there in an eerie way. Subtitle added and cartoon subtitle MK, already the first, those who brought these heavy columns profit. It is said that spiritual or extraterrestrial beings under the control of Solomon helped in the construction of Hagia Sophia and left a mark for this. The other is that a stone bearing the handprint of the Virgin Mary was brought here and added. It is believed to have been positioned as a protective hand to illuminate and safeguard Hagia Sophia. What happened to this handprint is still a mystery, but it is certain that it remains there in an eerie way. Let's move on to the Seraphim angels. The four angels located at the four corners right under the massive dome. These are, as you know, Azrael, Michael, Israfil, and Gabriel. However, only one of them has its face uncovered. That is the angel Gabriel. According to the legends, in Roman stories, it was believed that if Istanbul were invaded and captured, this angel would appear and drive them back to where they came from. Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror went to greet the people who had taken refuge in Hagia Sophia after conquering Istanbul in 1453. Many among the people at that time were looking towards this angel, because they were waiting for the angel to appear and save them, but of course nothing happened. This must have been quite disappointing for them. It is also believed that these four angels carry and protect this heavy dome, because the dome had been destroyed many times throughout history, until its architect rebuilt it again. Speaking of protection, we know that Hagia Sophia has withstood invaders, earthquakes, floods and disasters, and it still stands today. Some attribute this to a spell cast, the talismanic drawing on the wall. We see carvings and mysterious numbers on the wall. It is clearly known that these are talismanic symbols. Talismanic symbols are studied in esotericism. It is believed that letters and numbers carry certain magical meanings. It is said that these numbers, written within a specific square or rectangle, were created to protect Hagia Sophia from all visible or invisible evils. It is thought that an expert in Havas science cherished and safeguarded this location. However, these drawings, whose meaning cannot be definitively deciphered, still retain their mystery. Throughout history, there are also unknown drawings found inside this temple, apart from those made with permission. If you go up to the upper floor of Hagia Sophia, you will see a drawing on one of the nearby columns. A drawing resembling a dragon's head, but the drawing is not just limited to that. If we follow the lines, we can see that a ship emerges. This is a Viking ship. During that time, Vikings were being called to Rome as mercenaries, to strengthen the power of Rome. Apart from this, there is another drawing on a nearby column close to the corner. It is a depiction of a saint. We can see the halo around his head. The clothing he is wearing, his eyes, his nose, all are drawn in this tiny space. Moreover, it appears so faintly that who knows when it was drawn and when it was noticed. The figure directly opposite this one does not resemble the others. It has sharp horns and hands. It seems to be depicted as a terrifying creature. Some compare it to a cyclops because of its single eye and terrifying stance. But I think this is just a bird illustration. Its beak can be clearly seen on the left. Feathers are depicted on its head and hands. It is turned to the right, and logically, from this angle only one eye is visible. This is probably an eagle illustration, because it was the symbol of these knights. Earlier, we talked about the Vikings, right? Now let's see another example of this. In this section located on the upper floor again, soldiers used to conduct surveillance for protection purposes. One of these soldiers, perhaps out of boredom, carved Holden into this marble with his sword or dagger. Next to it, a soldier or a commander's figure has been drawn. People thought these were just scratches, until it was revealed that this was actually Viking writing. So this is a mark belonging to a Viking soldier or commander. Actually, one of the most important mysteries is this sweating wall, or in other words, the perforated wall. Visitors who come here place their thumb, make a full turn with their hand, and make a wish. Some believe that an angel is trapped inside, while others think it is the tears of the Virgin Mary. For both reasons, this place is quite significant to them. However, its importance for us is based on another legend. According to the story, when Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror came here, he wanted to pray. However, the Qibla is incorrect, and every time he begins, he interrupts the prayer again. They cannot start the prayer properly. The people standing behind him cannot understand this, and are surprised. Then it is said that Khizr came here, placed his finger in the hole, and turned this massive structure towards the Qibla, and Fatih's prayer is said to have started after this. Currently, Hagia Sophia appears to be slightly off from the Qibla by a certain degree. However, it is thought that this is due to soil shifts over time. Of course, these are merely legends. The mysteries of Hagia Sophia truly never end. This time I will show you a sketch. This might show the underground tunnels of Hagia Sophia. As you know, the underside of Hagia Sophia opens into corridors. Here in this drawing, there is probably a sketch showing the location of these corridors. However, some believe that this is a map showing the way to a mysterious door. Now let's look at a drawing near this one. This will be ours again. So much so that you can see the Greek flag they drew right here. They could only manage to draw its picture. The mosaic you are currently looking at actually has a strange and meaningful story. In the picture, the monk standing in the middle, Jesus Christ, is holding the Bible, which says the following: "Peace be with you." This is a part of the Gospel of John from the Bible. On the left is the Virgin Mary, and on the right is the angel Gabriel depicted. At the bottom, kneeling in a pleading manner, is an emperor. 6. Leon was a very unlucky emperor in his personal life. 6th Leon. Because all the wives he married passed away within 1-2 years. The church at that time considered marriages beyond the second to be sinful. The emperor wanted to adopt a male child to have an heir. The church had barely allowed a third marriage, but he had also passed away. Leo VI no longer wanted to marry without having a male heir. That's why the emperor committed countless sins outside of marriage and married the woman who gave him a male heir. He had this painting made based on the sins he committed. The story of an emperor begging Jesus for forgiveness. There is a reason why it was specifically drawn right above this door. Because every emperor who entered here would bow down, kiss the threshold of the door, and then step inside. Speaking of the door, let's look at another image. This is called the Gate of Heaven and Hell. Some also simply call this the Marble Door. What makes this place interesting is that the key to the locked door is hanging right next to it. It is said this place holds a mystery. This door will only fully open for the person who knows how to take the key. Finally, let me tell you about the change in the inner section of Hagia Sophia's main dome and the magnificent reference. There used to be a figure of Jesus Christ here, and part of it reportedly said the following: Jesus, is the light of the world. After the conquest, this figure was covered, and a verse from the Quran was written there instead. The light of the heavens and the earth is Allah. This is truly a very subtle reference made by the Islamic world. Hagia Sophia holds much more than these mysterious drawings and stories we have mentioned. If you want to see more of these and the incredible history of Hagia Sophia, just like and share the video. I am NYGMA. There are many more truths I need to show.